Welcome back to the show, everybody. One day and the countdown is on to the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Will there be a rug pull? Will it happen? We got that. We got Naveen Gupta from Ripple. Russia says it's going to be a big year for cross-border payments. And so does Ripple. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Pymts. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.79 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 3.2% in the last 24 hours. Right now, 46,800 plus for Bitcoin, 2,200 plus for Ethereum. We see 94.3 billion plus market cap for crypto. XRP at the number 6 spot at 56 cents, off by 0.2 in the 24 hour, off by 10.6 on the 7-day. I don't like it. I know you don't like it either. None of us like it. But hang in there. We got something you may like before we get out of here today. Ranging between 55 and 58 cents. XRP's jumping around a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I tell you about Miles Franklin Precious Metals. Gold and silver, physical gold and silver, in your hand, in your pocket. You put it somewhere, you have it. Should we see an EMP attack? Should we see a cyber pandemic, which is not a singularity event? It is an ongoing event if it's a pandemic, and that's what the World Evil Forum's telling us. And all you have to do to get the best prices and the best offerings, and believe me, they have got deals out the wazoo for all kinds of gold coins and bars and silver coins and bars. So affordable at any price point you want. All you need to do, two things. One, email info@milesfranklin.com. And the most important part, put in the subject box, dig gold, to get the best prices. That's the thing right there. You got to put that in the subject box, and you're going to be connected with some of the most smartest people in that space to get the best gold and silver in your hands. Well, let's take a look at this. 15,000 blocks remain until Bitcoin halving, which is in April. April 19th is the predicted date. It could fluctuate slightly, right? But that's what we're looking at. Yeah. Just a few days after what would be my birthday. Yeah, April 13th. Write it down. It's a good day. Then there's this. Oh, boy, this guy. Jim Cramer. Whatever he says, here comes the opposite.
Digital.
What are we doing with these? You know, let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way. So I'm going to say enough is enough, and ka-ching is ka-ching. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of the lightning round.
Oh, boy, this guy. So there you have it. Looks like Bitcoin's going to keep going up. I don't know. If anything... Oh, God. You know, it really isn't as funny as it's funny to me, but I mean, it's not funny because there's so many people that watch this guy every single day, and they put their hard-earned money behind everything he says. And he's obviously being controlled by the puppet masters on Wall Street, and whatever he's saying, you have a better chance of doing the opposite and getting a better result. This is the guy that said 8 days before Lehman Brothers collapsed, he came out and told you, don't move your money. You're safe. That's what he said. Let's listen to Kathy Wood here. Way more grounded. Let's take a listen to Kathy Wood.
Let's assume the SEC approves your application. What kind of impact would a Bitcoin ETF have? I mean, we've all noticed this run-up in Bitcoin ever since BlackRock announced their interest from 30,000 to over 40,000. All of this is anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF. Could this be a sell on the news event? What happens from here? Let's assume this is approved.
Sure. I think so many people are expecting now a sell on the news that we might not have a sell on the news because, you know, once you hear that enough, the positioning is already taking place. So who knows? It's a very short term. All we know is with our 5-year investment time horizon, we think the flows into this new asset class, especially institutional flows, but also retail flows. Retail has led the charge, of course, that they're going to be quite substantial. And it won't take much of an allocation by institutions into Bitcoin to drive what is becoming a scarce asset much higher.
You recently reportedly sold Coinbase stock. This is usually considered a proxy for Bitcoin. So what are your thoughts on Bitcoin now? What kind of, flesh out your ideas a little bit for us.
On Coinbase, it was up 400% last year, and we as we do normally, and you've seen us trading around Tesla, now trading around Coinbase, a lot of good news. It became the largest stock in our flagship portfolio. In terms of Bitcoin, we think we've got three very big reasons for it to continue to move higher. One, it is digital gold, and gold is a $12 trillion asset. I think Bitcoin might be up to 800 billion right now. So we do think there is some substitution taking place. And the institutional flows, if the allocations were as little as 2.5% to 5%, which is where we think they will end up, you'll see 0.5 and then 1%, you'll see a legging in. That could be the biggest reason for a Bitcoin to go up, because we're at 19.5 million Bitcoin outstanding already. 15 million roughly are in long-term hands. They haven't moved their Bitcoin in more than 155 days. Therefore, we know we're only going to 21 million units ever. So this indeed, from 19.5 to 21 million, is becoming a scarce asset.
And you have to ask yourself, which is all very exciting, and I hope people make gazillions of dollars. I have exposure to Bitcoin too. It is not digital gold to me. It is simply an investment product. And you have to ask yourself, if we're at 19.5 million and 21 million is the total that we're going to be at, which won't take many more years to get there. I know that the halving cuts it in half and drags it out even further. But think about the point when we get there. And imagine all the gold in the earth has been mined. And then it's just the gold, right? There is no mining more, right? It's all out. But understand that the largest investment players in the world are going to be custodying all of the Bitcoin because they're the ones that are going to be in control of it. And then you have to ask yourself, is there an out of balance to having so much centralized control over Bitcoin once it's all mined and custodied for products like this? Because no one's using it in large scale for payments. The whole legal tender in El Salvador and a few other places around the world, that's fantastic. Good for them. But you know what? They're all feeling it too. The transaction costs, the time it takes to settle, all of that. There is problems. It's got more problems than a math book when it comes to payments. But look, I'm exposed to it too, but it's not digital gold to me. It is a new investment product, and it's that simple. And I believe once we see a correction in the stock market, you may see a day of reckoning for something like Bitcoin itself. We'll see how it all unfolds. Meanwhile, VanEck Spot Bitcoin ETF has been listed on the DTC as well as Wisdom Tree and others. This is getting exciting. It feels like we're pushing them out to the launch pad. And then right here we see amongst multiple ETCs, which are exchange-traded cryptocurrency products, it says Hatnef here offers XRP ETC to its clients. So they're offering a similar like product right here already on this platform. I think we're going to see more of this, not only with XRP, Ethereum, Solana, other coins. It's all we're going to see tons of these products begin to roll out, right? Because this is how Wall Street does it, and we're here before they got here. So this is pretty interesting. Wow, Fox News was talking about Bitcoin, but the picture showed XRP right there, using the old Ripple Triskelion right there, but nevertheless, it does say XRP right there. Interesting how they used that logo. Is it an accident? Is it not an accident? I don't know, but I tell you, it is encouraging to see that it's up there. I can tell you that while they talk to the Valkyrie CIO, right? And then there's this, and you're going to like where we're going now. So most of the top 25 global financial centers are passing pro-innovation regulation for digital assets. I mean, this is all around the world. You can see the map. We don't need to get into it. But the point is, Russia experts say 2024 will be a big year for cross-border crypto, CBDC, central bank digital currency payments. Now, I go back to remind everyone that it was, I believe, Rob Grant, I think, VP of Global Policy, who said that he believes we will see for 2024 a G7 nation launch a distributed ledger technology with CBDC running on that network. That's remarkable. And Russia is seeing a big year for cross-border crypto and central bank digital currencies as well. And so is Ripple, according to an article on their new homepage, or their homepage here, talking about asset tokenization. Anyone can view the process of asset transfer through ownership. You'll be coupled into single atomic update. Wholesale central bank digital currencies are designed to settle large-scale, high-value securities transactions and interbank transfers. Tokenization improves privacy agility without the need of centralized intermediaries. That isn't possible with traditional technologies. We know this, right? And to add to this is Naveen Gupta on whywhales.com confirming that they are going to be moving hundreds of billions and then eventually hundreds of trillions in real-world assets in the future. Take a listen.
And so I think that kind of the ability to roll up and be a multi-chain or chain agnostic is huge. And, the XRP ledger, you guys are going to be continually upgrading, scaling, and changing there. But the ability to be, cross-compatible with other assets and tokens, I think is where we're going, is this multi-chain future. Because when you go to a website, it's generally pulling from multiple servers, multiple databases to resolve a single image or a single page. And I think that that's going to be a lot of what we're going to see here in the near future, is that, there is no one chain to rule them all. Like Swift, you were kind of like, yep, either you're a bank and you use Swift, or you're just not in, you're not included in the financial system. So I think you're entirely right. We're going to see a lot of, evolutions. We've already proven, a tokenized JPEG, that of the concept of digital scarcity can be worth tens of millions of dollars and hold the value and be able to trade as a financial instrument. Whether that's legal or even anyone cares. It's a great alpha test to showcase. Now we're ready to start beta testing, what we're talking about today, which is real world assets, real title, and start moving from, millions and billions to hundreds of trillions of dollars into blockchain technology.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Shout out to Naveen Gupta. You know what? And interestingly enough, there's no beta, right? Beta's over. High Vibes got it right here. Betas are finished, right? That's over. Remember, Ripple has use case. They've done over 30 billion, and God knows what the number is now. This is going down, right? 2024 to 2025 is the year of use case and implementation and adoption, especially once we have stablecoin legislation. Another key piece of legislation to watch. Meanwhile, you're going to want to watch this. This is Ed Greg Crypto right here. It says XRP to $5 in 90 days, ladies and gentlemen. $5, 90 days. Who got a problem with that? Not me. I don't have a problem with it. You know me. I believe XRP go to 4 or 5 digits, but I'd love to see $5. A new all-time high? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. You can see here in the upcoming 90 days, expect XRP to surge into the $5 range, marking the initial wave one of a prolonged bull market, one that's likely to span over several months. Well, this is interesting because I want to take you back to 2017, 2018, when the price of XRP started to move in April. But the bull run that everybody talks about in 2017 to 2018 is the last half of that. They don't ever talk about how the price moved from 2/1000ths to 6/1000ths of a penny up to the 20-cent range in April. What you hear them talk about is how it busted loose for 26 days towards the end of the year, where we went from the 20-some cent range to $3.84. That's the bull run you hear everybody talk about that lasted 24 or 26 days. But the reality is it actually was prolonged since April, moving from 2,000, 6,000ths of a penny range to 20-some cents, and then ultimately from there later in the year, going into 2018, it popped to $3.84. I hope that we see something repeat like that, and coupled with the onboarding of institutional usage, bringing use case utility into the space, and hopefully before 2024 is over, that rush into the space ends up being from institutional use and use case utility, and ultimately that will build to become the price driver of XRP, and not speculation, and certainly at some point not Bitcoin's dominance either. I hope you will join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're getting into it today. We're talking about China, the red flag. We're talking about that. And we're talking about U.S. elections and uncovering real evidence of what's taking place in our country. And how much of a country do we have? Well, you just need to click the Freedom Zone and get in here and find out, because you already know we're in trouble because we don't have freedom of speech on social media. That's why we created the Freedom Zone to begin with. If you're looking for freedom of speech, you're going to have to come to the Freedom Zone, because it doesn't exist out here. I'll catch all of you on the next one.